And we're live. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the masterclass on Microsoft Teams. Thank you for joining us. My name's Louis Welcome. I'm the product director of our Microsoft Power Platform and Microsoft Dynamics-based recruitment application Pump. In our journeys of talking to Microsoft over the last few months and getting closer to Microsoft, I was introduced to Stuart, who's very kindly agreed to come and talk about Microsoft Teams, which are, of course, big subject, workplace collaboration, and top tips for using Microsoft Teams. Stuart Ridout's from the customer success team at Microsoft, and I think that's probably all I have to say, and I'll pass over to you, Stuart.
Cool. Yes. Good morning, everybody. Yes, my name's Stuart Ridout. I'm a modern work customer success manager at Microsoft, and hopefully now you've got my screen. So my role, so I work predominantly with our central government customers, but my role is to try and make sure that our customers are as successful as possible using the technology that they've already purchased. So thanks for joining us today. We're going to try and kind of flip this on its head a little bit. So before I do all the intro gubbins, I'm going to tell you what the options are. We're going to try and do this as a bit of an interactive thing, and so that I'm talking about what you really want to hear about. So I've got kind of 9 different topics that I can talk about today. One is make meetings magnificent. So it's just a little bit more about how meetings work, the 3-part meeting within Teams and how you can use that. Another one is awesome app templates. So how can you get apps to integrate into Teams, and especially looking at some of the free app templates that Microsoft make available, either through Power Platform or through some of the Azure bots. There's Teams Advisor for rollout. So if you're responsible for rolling out Teams, how can you kind of help guide that journey? Try this in Teams is there's 5 tips that anyone can do. You could start using them right now just to kind of tweak your Teams and make it work a little bit better for you. Nailing notifications is what it is. There's loads of notifications that we have in Teams. And lots of and some people have a bit of notification overload. So how can you make sure that that works? Amplify your message with live events. So how can you use live events to kind of do webinars and big scale events? Amazing accessibility. So what accessibility features are in Teams? Juggle tenants in Edge Chromium. So if you're being invited into lots of guest tenants, how can you use profiles in Edge Chromium to be able to kind of have your home Teams application in one place and then like a customer Teams instance in another one. And last one is fantastic first line worker. So what features are available in here for first line worker? So I've got 9 different topics. So this is the interactive bit. So if you have a mobile phone, if you can point your mobile phone at the QR code, or you can go to aka.ms/pump Teams, just do it in a different tab, don't do it this one. And I would love to hear what you want to hear about. There is an other option on there. So if it's none of the above, and actually there's something that you'll really want to hear about, then write it in the other one, because I can always pivot and try and make it work for you. So let me just write it in here as well. So please just pop onto that link that I've just popped in here, and please vote on there, and we'll see where we go. And then we'll just use it as our priority order. If you don't get it, don't worry, because I've just kept the QR code and the URL at the top just while I do this. So I'm from Microsoft. Our mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And through that, you know, in my role as a modern work customer success manager, it really is about unlocking human potential. And for us, that unlocking human potential part is really about Microsoft Teams. And we've seen absolutely massive growth in Microsoft Teams over the past year. And, you know, we've just announced we've got 115 million active users on Teams, which is a huge, colossal number. So if you are one of those 115 million active users, then thank you very much. But why Teams? Well, I mean, so we're not alone in really saying that Teams is core to our business. 90%, over 90% of the Fortune 100 use Microsoft Teams, and we're starting to see that organizations are really, Teams is becoming a core part, a critical part of their infrastructure. Where as we start to bring in more line of business apps and things like this, it moves from being a Skype for business replacement, where you're just doing a few calls and a bit of chat, to actually something that really is starting to become integrated for them. So we talk about Teams, we talk about the hub for teamwork. So when we do that, we're talking about that group chat and the one-to-one chat. But interestingly, it's about it being persistent chat, so you can always get back to where you want to go. And we're seeing that where organizations open up their chat to be able to chat to other people, that's when they really start to get the value from it, because that's when they start to be able to reduce their email traffic. Those powerful online meetings, so the 3-part meeting that I mentioned when I was doing the summary of that. Enterprise calling and voice. So if you've got enterprise voice, then being able to take calls, place calls, and things like that, and being able to still provide those dialing coordinates into your meetings is really valuable for them. Now, obviously, when we talk about meetings, you don't have to have Teams if it's a third party. They can just do it through the browser, they can do it on the phone, all of those. But if you provide that dialing detail, it just makes it a little bit easier for people to take part. And then lastly, the built-in Office 365 apps. So when you bring it all together, all with one login, all pulling from the same place, then it really brings it to life for people and enables them to go. So that's enough of the salesy spiel there that we've got. So this is what we're looking like. So we're looking top on awesome app templates, then try this in Teams, then nailing notifications, then amazing accessibility. So we'll go with that, and we'll see where we get from there. So awesome app templates. Perfect. So as I said, there's loads and loads of ways that you can integrate third-party and first-party apps into Teams. So we see that where we've got customers who are who've kind of invested in some of their high-value apps, things like maybe Workday or things like ServiceNow. Sorry, my mind went blank there, etc. We see that where they've invested in those, they actually get a lot more value from integrating those into Teams. So that, for instance, if you're doing IT ticketing using ServiceNow, then there is a bot that ServiceNow have produced that allows your end users to raise tickets, to query the status of tickets, etc. from that bot. But in addition to that, Microsoft have made a whole load of app templates available. So new templates are being released all the time. So I've written 29. I think there's actually more than 29. I've just realized I haven't updated that number. But they are, the great thing about the app templates, which Microsoft has made available at this address here, aka.ms/app templates, is that they're all open source. So that means that you can use that as a starting point. And you can say, well, actually, it doesn't quite do what we want it to do. We want it to do this. This gives you the ability to change that. But it is production ready code. So you could just implement it into an Azure tenant and get ready to go. And it's got fantastic documentation. So let me just give you a little view of what that website looks like. So here, we've got loads and loads of different apps here. So some of the ones that really stand out for me, and I think might be useful in some of these kind of scenarios. So there is a building access app. So if you're looking at that return to work planning for your organizations, a building access app that allows people to book desks. And it's completely free. It's built on the Power Platform, uses all of your seeded connectors in Office 365, so you don't need to step up to any kind of premium licensing. Other ones that our customers get a lot of value out of, like the Company Communicator. So Company Communicator allows you to send either whole organization or targeted comms to groups of people, and it appears in their chat feed. So instead of coming in as an email, which moves down the list, It comes right in there. You can do like a call to action, put an image in there, and put all the text and things like this. And it just makes it easier. It's slicker for people to get their comms out there. Other ones, so there's one here called Expert Finder, which is a Teams bot where you can look for people within your organization who've got certain skills. So this is a really powerful one. FAQ Plus, I'm going to come back to in a moment because I'm going to showcase that. There is HR Support. HR Support is it starts off with a Q&A portion where people can ask questions to a bot, but if they don't have the answer that they want, then they can escalate it and it goes off to an HR professional who can help them deal with that. Others, so this is a brand new one, which is the Neo app. So new employee onboarding allows you to kind of assign this to someone, and you can provide a new hire checklist, so all of the things that they need to go through, but also gives them prompts like kind of introduce yourself or take a tour, here are the things that we think you should do, look at your plan, and it helps them to manage their plan, see what they've done, etc. And again, as I say, because it's open source, you can tweak and change it and make it work for you. Things like Scrum check-ins, quite good. Surveys like visitor management, workplace awards, if you're wanting to build up a culture within your workplace of kind of celebrating success, that you can do that. But one of the ones that really interests me is FAQ Plus. So this is a very mature app. It's gone through a few iterations now. And basically with FAQ Plus app template, you can build up a knowledge base of Q&A pairs. And then people can ask questions to the bot. But what makes it a bit different is that they can share feedback. So if it's a really great answer, they can say so. If it's not right, then they can provide feedback there, whatever. And it goes through into a team of people who can then go and make those changes. But what's also great is if it doesn't have the answer that they need, then they can click here on this button that says Ask an Expert. So if they've asked the question, they didn't get what they want, then they can ask an expert, and it goes off to a team of people who can then, they get something that comes in that looks like this, and it gives them so this is the HR support one, apologies. But it doesn't look dissimilar to the HR support one, where it's got this lightweight kind of case management here, where if somebody clicks that option that says Ask an Expert, it goes to them. They can either respond on a one-to-one basis and say, hey, this is the answer that you're looking for, or they can go back to that person and add it into the knowledge base. So it's really easy to keep that knowledge base up to date, and you could get like a small team of people who can do that. So it's a really nice way to be able to kind of surface that. Cool. So I would definitely think that you should have a look at that. Okay, the next most popular one was try this in Teams. So some of these things like app templates, you need to get somebody from IT involved, you need to have an Azure instance, etc. These ones here are really about what can you do to just tweak the way that you work. So some of these are things like using emoji in channel names, renaming group chats, bookmarking posts, creating group tags, and creating meetings from chat. So let me just load up an Office tenant here and bring it across. There we go. Perfect. So I'm in my Teams tenant here. Whoops. There we go. So using emoji in channel names really helps those channels to pop out. It's really easy to do. So let's say that I've got here my Mark 8 project team, and I want some of these channel names to kind of pop a bit. What I can do is let's just rename this channel. In fact, let's just make a new team. Let's make a new team. This is new, so this is not. So this is quite new. Is being able to create a team. So when you create a team, it now has templates in here. So if you wanted to have ones for onboarding employees, there's a channel here. There's a template, sorry, that allows you to do that. Or you can manage a project. coordinate incidents, etc. And you can build those templates up yourself. So if you know that this is what a customer project should look like, then you can use those templates to do that. But I'm going to build mine up from scratch. Here you go. Oh, there you go. And let's build that up here. So it's really easy to get the emoji picker up. And actually, a lot of people don't even know that the emoji picker exists. So let's say that I'm going to create a new channel. And this is going to be my important channel. Okay. And if you hit Windows and full stop, then you get your emoji picker. So you can either start typing to find what you want, or you can just pick your emoji symbol. And there's different ones here. So let's say that this is, I don't know what I want for an important one. I hadn't thought about this. There we go. So let's just say that it's going to be this one here. I don't know why. There you go. And then when you use those emoji names in the channels, then it actually just makes it easier for people to be able to navigate through those, because they just get a little visual cue that helps them to do that. Another one here is renaming group chats. So we're often here. So I've got a chat with Megan, and and I'm going to include Lee as well, and I'm going to involve Nesta. Hey, can we discuss the project? Okay, but if you're like me, you get lots of people asking, kind of putting chats into you, and it's really hard to be able to kind of differentiate between that one and another one that might be Lee, Megan, and Miriam. So what you can do is actually go up here to the chat, click the pencil, and I can call this project. There we go. And that will help you to kind of differentiate from that. Even better, let's just stick an emoji in there as well. There we go. And when other people aren't using the emoji, it really helps your one stick out above everyone else. So I do this a lot, kind of is naming my chats so that I can help differentiate between what they are. And you can actually do that at setup time as well. So if it was with Lee and Miriam, so before I've even started typing, I can click on that down arrow there, and then call this pump 2 project, and name that way, and set that up that way. So the other thing you can do that for as well is if I had a chat with Lee, Megan, and Nesta, so and I wanted to have a different chat, same group of people but a different chat, you can if you pre-name it before you start typing, then you can set it up that way as well. Okay, few more then. Here we go. Right. So have you ever been in Teams and you've just kind of said, oh, that is really good, but I want to keep that for later? So another little hidden piece of functionality. If you go on the ... here, then there is one here that says save this message. Few people have found that they don't really know how to get back to it later. So if you go up here onto that would be your face or initials, whatever, there's one here that says saved. And you can see here that all of your saved posts will appear on this left-hand panel here. So lots of people I know use that to kind of as like a task list or a to-do list where they've got things that need actioning. And then once they've done that, they'll just click on that bookmark and then it'll be gone. Okay. Let me just add a few more people into this team just to show you the next one. So, oops. Miriam, Megan, and Nesta. There we go. Okay. So you can add tags to teams to tag groups of people. So let's say that in here, I wanted to just have a little group which is just for the project managers. So I can click on the ellipsis and go on Manage Tags. Okay. Create a new tag, and I can call this Project Managers. And in here is going to be Lee, and it's also going to have Miriam in there. There we go. Okay. And what that allows me to do is then, when I have my conversations, I can say at Project Managers, and you submit your status reports. Okay, and it allows us to kind of target notifications to a group of people rather than to the whole team when it's not necessarily things that will be of interest to them. And the last one on this kind of try this in Teams one is a real kind of time saver when setting up meetings from chat. Especially, let's say that Megan's messaged me and said, can we meet later to talk about this annual report? Okay, and all I need to do is just down here, there's a button that says schedule a meeting. I can click that and annual report discussion. And then I can use the scheduling assistant to be able to find time that works for both of us. This looks like a pretty good day for us both. And then I can just send it straight from there. And then I can just say, I've set up the meeting. And I'm not having to kind of switch out and go into different apps and pop back into Outlook and things like this. So it just helps me to kind of maintain my flow a little bit. Perfect. Right. I'm just having a look to see if there's any comments. No. Right. Okay. We've got just a couple more minutes. So, what was the next one? So the next one was just on notifications. Yes, let's do notifications really quick. So we've revamped the whole load of the notification stuff just recently in Teams. But a lot of people kind of, when they start using Teams, get a little overwhelmed with notifications. So there's a few places that you can check. So when you go up here to your face and go to settings, there is the notification option here, and this has recently changed this, so I would take another look at this. So things like, does it send you missed activity emails? So when you start using Teams, you might want to have that up. When you become a regular Teams user, you probably just switch that off. And then what desktop and activity notifications do you get? So you can say all activity or different mentions and replies, or you can customize that, and you can, by clicking custom, you can say, well, actually, if there's a personal app mention, then just show me the feed. I don't need a banner like a pop-up notification, etc. If it's a like, I don't even need to know about likes, and trending, I don't know. So you can go through and tweak those settings. Then down here, you can do notifications for things like chats, meetings, etc. So you can really fine-tune that. And then even down to the team and channel level, you can say here, you can go here and go to channel notifications, and you can say, actually, let's say I'm in the sales East region and I really want to get notifications for new ones. In that, I can go to channel notifications, and I can either choose all activity or I can choose custom and say, actually, I want to know whenever there's a new post, I need to know that straight away. I don't need to know about replies, but I need to know if somebody puts a top level post in there, then I want to know that. And then the last thing, super quick, I'm going to super quickly get that in there, is if you're sick of your phone pinging at all hours, if you've got Teams on that, then you can set something called quiet hours. So let me just bring my, there it is there. So there's my phone. If you click on your face and go notifications, there you go there, you can say, there's something that says quiet hours. So you can say, on my phone, don't ping me between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. And you can just tweak that to change it however you want. And you can set whole quiet days. So you can say, and don't ping me on a Saturday or a Sunday. So you don't have to mess about with your notification settings, things like this. You can make it work for you. Brilliant. That is everything from me. I feel like I've got a million miles an hour, but hopefully you got something useful out of that.
It's a nice little taster, Stuart. Thanks so much. I hope everyone got something out of that. If you've got any questions, Nicole, I can see you posted one. We can come back to you later and help you out there. Do get in touch if you're interested in Microsoft Teams, and we can have a chat about that. We've got a session later today at 2:15 about the Microsoft Power Platform with Chris Huntingford. And that's really the other side of Teams. And Teams, of course, is built on the same platform, right, Stuart? So it's an extension of the same conversation, how you can take advantage of these tools and build your own applications. So thank you so much, Stuart.
Absolutely. I have a YouTube channel as well where I post lots of videos that you can kind of share out for your organizations. I've popped the link in the chat there as well.
So there's your LinkedIn as well.
And there's my LinkedIn.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you all. I think
Thank you
we're
very much
done,
for your time,
Stephen.